Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about the short story 55 Miles to the Gas Pump, written by Proulx. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Now, this work is very short. It's only a few paragraphs. It really gets to the point. Basically, we get introduced to this rancher by the name of Rancher Proulx, and pretty much he's this rancher that, right away, Rancher Proulx, he's a strange man. We get introduced to him very quickly. It seems like somebody that we could get used to, somebody you could like when you first start reading this short story within the few paragraphs. And then right away, Rancher Proulx, he pretty much just goes and commits suicide. He just literally commits suicide and kills himself. And he just dies. He just jumps off a cliff and just dies. And it's quick, it's fast. We get introduced to him, and then he kills himself. And then we get introduced to his wife, who's up on a roof in their property, and she's cutting into the roof because she's curious about what's in the roof, but she knows what's in the what's in the attic of this property, of their home, and she knows that it's dead bodies, and she cuts a hole into the roof, or she gets away and from the roof of the attic, and she sees all the dead bodies, and we're told, or it's depicted that Rancher Proulx was engaged in necrophilia with these dead bodies, and he was doing lots of horrible, dark things with these bodies, and these are all young girls or girls that have gone missing in the news. And Mrs. Proulx, she tells us, like, these are the faces of the girls that she saw go missing, and she's not shocked. In fact, it's depicted that she kind of knew that this is what her husband was doing, and she even, the way that she discusses them, it's not a very in a horrific way, like she's surprised or shocked or she can't breathe. I mean, this woman is up on the roof, so she's like well aware of what her husband was doing. She's not too terribly horrified of what she finds in her attic. And it's kind of like out of curiosity and like just trying to see what her husband's been doing in this attic, rather than this horrible man did this to these young girls and I never knew about it. It's like I knew about it, I didn't want to get involved, but I still want to see what's up in my attic. Very quick, and then the paragraph or the short story pretty much ends with, when you live far out, you make your own fun. So this is a very dark couple in terms of deeper meaning and analysis. In a quick few sentences, we get introduced to a very dark couple and what they're doing and how their lives are, with the idea that when you live far out, or when you're out in like a rural area, or where there's nobody and there's no city, there's no life or anything, you tend to find other ways to entertain yourself or to find fun. And this kind of like really looks at the dark side, or the wickedness part of human beings, that the author is also kind of saying that all humans are kind of capable of this type of darkness. If you leave them to their own darkness, human beings can go that far out, to the point where they're kidnapping, killing people, and involving with them, or getting involved with them sexually. So all these dead bodies, some of the dead bodies are rotten or rotting, and they're old and nasty. Some of them have paint on them, and there's boot marks and hand marks, and it's just a horrible, horrific scene. And the farmer's wife is just not, she's not horrified. She's kind of, in some ways, you can even say she's kind of pleased, but by what she sees. And the author's kind of pointing a finger, saying, "Hey, listen, I'm describing this, but you're interested in this." I mean, and if we think about it, a lot of people are interested in horror movies and dark movies and horrific movies and slasher movies and serial killers. I mean, I think we, as normal people, or if we call ourselves normal people, there's that same type of wickedness, because you will watch a series on Netflix that's about necrophilia. You're interested in that. You want to see that. You want the stories. You want to see the dark levels that human beings are able to go to. And in some ways, this story is kind of pointing back at other people who are interested in that type of dark stuff, and they want to see, the farmer, or see a movie about the farmer shoving dead bodies into his attic. Some people find that interesting and riveting, and they want to pay money to go and see somebody do that on the live screen, on the big screen. So this is looking at the wickedness of these two farmers. It's looking at the wickedness of the reader, that you find this type of thing interesting. So really, this is judging you, because you're reading this type of thing. And I guess I'm in the same boat of talking about this same type of thing. So it's dark, it's wicked, and it shows you a part of the human being that's dark. This shouldn't be interesting. This should only be horrific and horrifying, and no one should be interested in it. But people, time and time again, will read books that involve necrophilia and serial killers and all these types of monsters, and we're fascinated and interested, and we're shoving popcorn down our faces at the movie theater, watching people who kill other people or who engage in necrophilia. So this is it's this short work is judging people, it's judging the human race and its wickedness, and also the characters that we see. They're weird, they're horrific. We see what being far out or living out in nowhere can do to you, what it can do to your mind, to your psyche. But also it's judging the people who are reading this type of stuff and looking at these. So you can't really wag a finger at the Proulx, because they're part of the human race, and in the human race, we are all part of the human race, and all humans are capable of that type of darkness and wickedness. So it's very fascinating that this short story look at this in this way, because, well, it's a truth that, well, darkness exists in all humans, and we have to run away from it and get away from it as fast as we can. And several books, I mean, even the Bible with sin and things like that, it talks about the wickedness of humans and how far in wickedness and darkness that human beings can go to. So the Proulx are not that far off. They're not that weird or horrific, because in human beings hold that type of darkness that we have seen within the Proulx, within the short story. So yeah, that's the summary. That's the analysis. That's I would also add the detail that the author really puts into this, into the people, into the descriptions, into how they're depicted. There's a lot of detail, and the detail will get you hooked, which evokes your curiosity of what's going on. But it's also invoking the darkness that exists in a lot of human beings, or in all human beings. So run away from the darkness. Don't submit to it. Find some light, because this wickedness should not be interesting or fascinating to you, or at least that's my opinion on this matter. So that's all I had to say about this work. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.